Good morning, New Life. Welcome to another episode of Living in Abundant Grace. So we're in number 8 of our 12 of our spiritual disciplines. And last time we talked about how we are to meditate on God and our meditation on God and how our focus needs to be on the things of God. And He is the one who is in control of all things. And so we're not in control of anything here in life, but we know who is. And God is the one who is in control. And so we talked about that last time. We learned that we need to focus on God and that our lives have peace even in the midst of trial when our focus is in the proper place. Okay, and so today I want to focus on the spiritual discipline of rest. Now this is something that I think most people struggle with, although right now it may seem to be pretty good, but normally, we struggle with rest. So our lives tend to be on the go all the time. We seem to live busy lives. And so we're working, we're running errands, we're busy with the kids or grandkids and so forth, and the list goes on. And so we stay busy like this normally. And so we tend to be weak spiritually when we are always on the go. And so our bodies here are designed for rest. And so we're designed that we need we need all three. We need daily rest, weekly rest, and even seasonal rest. And so if you have your Bibles, turn to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 9 through 11. So Hebrews chapter 4, and we're going to start in verse 9. It says, "So there remains a Sabbath rest for the people." Now, we see that the importance here of rest, and he's talking about how God rested at creation, and so the Sabbath rest. But the word rest here is specifically talking about a physical rest and what we need. And so we need to have, again, as I've said, daily rest. Okay, so every night we need to sleep. Our bodies need to sleep. It needs to re-energize. We also need weekly rest. And this is what he's talking about right here is we're to work 6 days, and then we're to have that day of rest. And our bodies are meant to have occasional rest or seasonal rest. This is why we go on vacations and to have that time of rest. Our bodies were created to work hard, but also to rest. And we cannot neglect the rest. And I think a lot of Americans tend to do just those things. Verse 10, read with me. It says, "For the one who has entered his rest has himself also rested from his works, as God did from his." So believers were commanded to have this physical rest. And God is our example of this rest. Okay, and so He gave us the example and showed us how we are to live and how we are to work and rest. And so one of the reasons that we may be having troubles in our life is that we are not resting the way that we should. And so if we neglect our body, or neglect it our daily or weekly or seasonal rest, then we can do our body harm, and we may not, we just won't be up to par, so to speak. And so we can have these different troubles in life because we're not resting the way that we should. Our bodies were designed to have rest. If we neglect giving our bodies this type of rest, then we can become useless when it comes to the things of God and the work of God. Okay, and so we don't want to do that. We want to be useful to God and to be useful to His service. Okay, so read verse 11 with me. It says, "Therefore, let us be diligent to enter that rest, so that no one will fall through the following the same example of disobedience." Now, he just got done telling a story of Moses and how the people didn't enter into the rest. They were disobedient. Because of their disobedience, they did not enter into that rest. So rest is very important to our physical bodies and to us spiritually. Okay, it's important to both. we have to find time for rest. It's important that you rest. It's important that I rest. It's important that we have these times, these seasons there of rest. And even Jesus knew the importance of rest. If you have your Bibles there, turn to Mark chapter 6. In Mark chapter 6, he tells us about this rest. And so what happens is he sends out his 12 disciples, and he has them go evangelize. And they did all kinds of things. They ended up sharing the gospel, healing the sick, performing signs and wonders and miracles to the people. And so then they come back at the end of the chapter, end of Mark chapter 6. In verse 30 to 32, I'm going to read this. It says this: "The apostles gathered together with Jesus, and they reported to him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, 'Come away by yourselves to a secluded place and rest for a while.' For there were many people coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat. And they went away in a boat to a secluded place by themselves." Okay, so even Jesus realizes that here is seasonal rest. That, man, you can go out there and you can work hard, and then, man, you need to have that time of rest. And that's what he did with his disciples. He took them, he sent them out to evangelize and to work and to do miracles, and they did those things. And when they came back, they were excited, they were probably ready for some more. But Jesus, knowing what was good for their body, says, "Hey, let's go away for a little while and let's get some rest." Rest is important, my friends. And so I want you to be rested up, and get the proper rest that you need so that you can focus and do the things that God desires of you. All right. Thank you, New Life. You guys take care. God bless.